All right.
All right. Do it. Let's talk about the morning departure. Starting where we left off, I guess, last time.
Yeah. Well, they even give us that nice little... So we left, we were in the tavern. Corcus was being a jackass. And Guts was talking, like, mostly to Judeau about how the only one he can't stand looking down at him is Griffith.
Yeah.
So he wants to attain his own dream. Like, that's his entire motivation is like, I want to attain my dream so I can stand beside Griffith as an equal.
Yeah. Obviously, this is apparently the stupidest thing Corcus has ever heard of, because Griffith is good and we are all shitty fucking thieves that will never amount to anything. So you should be happy just where you are in life.
Kind of like looking at this again, because we're still in the parts where we've like read this a while back now.
Yeah.
I think. Looking at this again, kind of realizing that it seems like Corcus is maybe a bit of like a foil or whatever to Casca. Yeah. Like they both hold Griffith on a pedestal, but in like completely different ways.
Yeah, sure. I could see that. Yeah, I mean, Corcus is just a giant piece of shit here. But the thing,
fucking Guts a brat.
The thing I hate about him the most is that he's very real and true. Yeah, so his whole thing, and like this is kind of something I've come to agree with, even though he's taking it too far. Obviously, and we're supposed to hate him because he's talking to the protagonist like he's a piece of shit, and we know the protagonist will do better things. But like, here's the real skinny, right? You can go to school and train and do whatever for anything, and you will likely not make it. It's just straight up how it is. Corcus is extremely realistic here, saying that like, oh, you have a dream? Well, guess what? We're fucking rich now. We're set. What else could be better than that? You know what? Like, it's super. True. He's right. He's just a piece of shit.
Well, he has like, I mean, at the top of 168 has the relevant quote that like is just fucking applicable to every, like 99.9% of people. Normal people use their own strength and talents to come to terms with their real lives and make do the best they can. Like, that's fucking it, dude.
Yep.
Like, I completely believe in all of the, like, you know, find like happiness in the little things and like be content with a normal life, an average life, because I fucking know it's not like, it's not gonna be more than that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing, you should always like have something to strive for and goals for sure, but like realistically, that bubble, that line is so good. People use their own strength and talents to come to terms with their real lives and make do the best they can. Like, yeah. The only reason why this comes off as assholishness is because, first of all, he's an asshole, just straight up. But it's mainly we don't want to hear it because Guts isn't a normal person, and we know that. And, like, he should know that, too.
You would think Corcus would fucking realize that, like, Guts could do whatever.
Corcus is the berserk version of an anti-vaxxer or a Trump supporter, though. Like, he is definitely like fake news. Nope, he didn't kill 100 men. I didn't see him literally kill every single one of them. Some of them might have just died from illness. Like, he's that type of person. So, I mean, he's hateable, but this is super right, what he's saying. And I think it's also that thing of you don't want to hear it because you want to believe in something more than you have, even though like statistically where you are is where you're going to be for the rest of your life. So use to the best of your abilities, be happy with it and make it yours, sort of thing. He's just an asshole about it. He says to hell with this
He's-
and then calls him a baby.
Yeah, I mean, we get nobody elaborates on it here, but like we maybe get the idea that like he had a dream and it got fucking terminated at some point. Like
It's definitely
he's
that outburst, that type.
yeah,
of
he's like
outburst.
super bitter, and that's
Yeah.
like, I mean, his
Dude,
facial
I get it.
expression on what is this 169? Yeah, when Guts is like, you don't have something like that, and Corkus is just like,
Yeah.
fucking look at him, and then he bails.
Yeah,
So
true.
it totally seems like he had something and got stomped.
Yeah, and I get it, dude.
Oh, totally.
I totally get it. Then we get some cool stuff with Judeau being good with knives. So that's kind of fun. Just seeing him like
Yeah.
twirl around a table knife and then stabbing it into the table or whatever. But yeah. I don't know. And then Judeau's kind of like the opposite here, where they're talking and he's saying that he actually just straight up says too, maybe there was something he too wanted to win for himself. And we get a little bit more about him, about how he's never really excelled at anything. He's just kind of a jack of all trades. And that's why he's here, because he decided like, well, if I can't be the best, why not like be with people that are, or whatever.
Oh, that's my dream.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that in general, he's happy where he is and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's just a big conversation about chasing dreams and having a dream and like ambitions and stuff like that. And kind of making this is like, I guess, our way as the reader to in universe make peace with why he's leaving. And they can't just like let Guts leave without having some stuff like this. So Judeau's kind of the only one that isn't a real main character that was able to have this conversation. So it makes sense why he's here and we're doing this.
Yeah. Dude, Judeau's cool.
Yeah.
he's
He's a good dude.
Then fucking immediately after this, like, hey, what's up with you and Casca, bro?
Yeah. I mean, again, as the audience surrogate, like we were all wondering too. So sure.
Yeah. His fucking on 174, his face where he's like, and it's just fucking prime.
Oh, the like raised eyebrow.
Yeah, like something's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some cool conversation too there of like he's kind of being coy about it or whatever. But his whole thing is everybody knows that she's and Griffith are a thing or whatever. And there's like the whole talk about how they're never going to be like a thing.
Yeah.
It's not that type of relationship at all. And besides, Griffith is like, this is all a big way to say Griffith is out of her league and he's going to be shooting for something bigger, which is the princess because of his ambitions, and just generally he's way out of like all of their league, frankly.
Well,
yeah.
except Guts.
Well, except Guts. Yeah, exactly.
Can't deny a man with such a big, thick sword, you know?
Yeah. But they kind of like spell out here, Griffith is obviously interested in Princess Charlotte because it's the fast track to what he has been working for the whole time.
Like, you can literally only get up so far by just fighting. And even then, and like he says outright, like it ends at general. Like you can't do anything more from there unless you marry the princess.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you somehow get into the royal bloodline. Yeah. And there's a kind of like interesting moment where he's saying, well, and fate has it that all these people that were lined up for next on the throne are mysteriously dead somehow. Which leads us to like this kind of flashback moment with Guts and Griffith talking, which we didn't see before, after Guts had helped him kill all the conspirators and all of that sort of stuff, about how Griffith has kind of like a dirty side to all of this, and it's Guts, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know. I'm taking it as a full-on analogy for like, not that they've actually, not that they've actually been intimate, but like this is the version of intimacy that we get, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Not
you
showing
mean between them, those two?
Yeah, between Guts and Griffith. Like Griffith isn't showing, you know, like he's not going to other people with this, but he's sharing it with Guts.
Yeah, exactly. I really like the line, "You're rough enough to share this with," to the end. That's like,
yeah,
that's so fucking dope. That's like
it's
shit
really
that
good.
If I knew it wouldn't get me slapped, would be like my wedding vow.
Oh man, yeah, it'd be real good before that open palm came in.
Oh man, what would you do if like you saw a TikTok or something of like me with like a Berserk themed wedding, and then just like cutting the cake is just me like slapping down a 500-pound piece of metal on top of the cake and splattering it.
Just decimating the table. You're in like the, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're obviously Guts, so you have like you have to have like a shitty Guts cosplay. Is the bride gonna be Casca or Griffith?
Why not both?
Like a shitty half and half costume, like
yeah,
split
exactly.
down the middle or whatever. So dumb.
Yeah. Like Two-Face, but for those two characters.
Yeah. Fucking stupid.
I'll tell you one thing, I'm definitely not a Griffith in any world. I'm actually more of a Pippin, if we're gonna be honest.
I like to think of myself as a less skilled Judeau.
I could see it, yeah.
His jack of all trades things really fucking hits home with me, because like that's how I am. I'll pick up anything, literally anything, and
then write a press release about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
About synergies, about market shares, all of it. I can do it all.
Anything you want, but I'll never be amazing at it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. I think I still kind of like the Master of all trades type thing anyways. I hate that like, you know, the saying master or jack of all trades, master of none is like always said, but the whole thing ends with like, but most times better than a master of one or something, because it's like in life you never are just doing one thing.
Yeah, it's
jack of all trades is a dope
so
thing.
Rare.
Yeah. But yeah, so more conversation about Casca specifically. I really like all of this part. I don't know. It's hard to even like say anything specific about it. Judeau saying you think you'd like to hold her is just
Dude, that
awkward.
fucking so what about Casca? Ever think you'd like to hold her?
Yeah. But like, I really like that this whole part, Guts is kind of saying like, she obviously wants Griffith though, even though like he might not share that or whatever. So, shouldn't she want or try or want or whatever and blah, blah, blah. But my favorite part about all this is that she's a lot better than the noble girls who only know how to dress up. It's hard to find a woman you can trust to watch your back on the battlefield. It's like, that's just life, man.
Yeah.
That's just life. Find yourself a woman who will watch your back on the battlefield of life. With a sword, preferably. Or like a gun, I guess, in our day and age. If you're bringing a sword to a fight, you're probably dead.
I mean, it's like, fuck, I can't think of the artist's name, but it's like, what's his name said? I want a gangsta bitch.
Yeah. I don't know.
The other thing this ends with is, I mean, this conversation kind of ends with is like Guts saying like the one who has her eye is Griffith. It's like,
and he wants to be a better man to maybe be part of that conversation one day. Is kind of It's kind of a fun conversation because he's kind of dodging it for a while, and they're having a conversation about the relationship she has with Judeau or with Griffith, and the fact that like he sees her as a comrade. Judeau keeps like there's a lot of pushing. He's kind of making excuses, and then it just finally comes out like, I'm not good enough for her right now. Like, I gotta be better.
Yeah.
Then maybe or whatever. So
which
after
kind of it kind of sucks because like he probably is good enough, you know, he just doesn't think it.
This is also
like,
just life, man.
Yeah, no, totally.
You just gotta shoot that shot.
Yeah.
Stop being a pussy
Judeau
like
knows.
Guts and be a real man like
Yeah,
me.
don't be a pussy like Guts.
Yeah. One thing I've never been afraid of is rejection because I've lived in it. You've merely adopted rejection. I was born into it. They end up running into the group that's kind of like in the path, blocking their way. What the hell? Rickert or whatever.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I forget. Rickert? Yeah, something.
I'm sure they say it in the anime that I haven't seen yet, but I've just been saying Rickert, but it might be Rickert. I don't know. It's hard, especially because since everything was originally written in Japanese, but like how it would be pronounced would be different or whatever. It doesn't matter. I love just like little kid tantrum of like, how could you leave without saying anything?
Yeah.
And this whole like, we get kind of the end of the chapter of them looking, or Guts looking at the rest of them, and Griffith is now standing there as well, in the way or whatever with them.
Yeah.
Griffith looks such pretty boy. Like
he's so much more attractive than everybody else in the group. It's kind of ridiculous.
It's hilarious. Like a porcelain doll, like 186. Him compared with Corcus right beside him. Corcus has like the lines showing that like his face is imperfect and stuff like that, and he's just like a porcelain doll.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, Corcus has like all the, you know, fucking normal people features.
Yeah, he looks like a person.
Doesn't.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Then we get some like dope ass shit at the beginning of the next chapter of just two panels of them looking at each other.
And I think throughout all of these chapters, maybe not so much, but like we get a good silhouette shot of everybody on the hill.
Yeah,
it's cool stuff. Just Griffith's expression throughout these whole things where he's like, "You mean to quit?" And Guts is like, "I'm sorry." And just like it's clearly getting to Griffith.
Yeah. There's some good shit here. More Corcus being. So this is where Corcus is actually an asshole. He's just like, I've always hated you. To be honest, I've almost shot you. Like, fuck you. Fuck, you deserve death now.
Yeah, I don't fucking get, like, I don't understand why he fucking hates him so much. And then he says it's that stone cold, intense scowling mug gets under my skin like nothing else. And Guts is just fucking scowling at him. But like, Jesus.
You can never become Griffith. It's like so dumb.
Yeah, it's like, whatever. Fucking. You could fucking cut you in half right now, Corcus. Get out of here.
I like this whole like moment though, because after that, Gus is just like ignoring everything, just saying like thanks for everything, and there's that moment where he looks at Casca and there's just like the remembrance of the conversation they were just having on the walk up or whatever, and like a picture of her looking sad and stuff like that, and them walking past, or him walking past her in the next scene. It's just good.
Dude, on 194, she looks so cute.
Yeah,
got her hands in those pockets.
Yeah,
I don't know, just a cute
the
deal.
Russian cap.
yeah, just such a weird like thing to have in this setting, but sure, yeah. It's like heartbreaking though, because going from that page to the next page, the first panel of him like walking past her, and she's like kind of mouth agape, like he actually like she would, or like she was gonna say something, but like then Guts just goes.
Yeah, it's just
but
sad.
Then suddenly sword.
Yeah, man, page 196 has such a dope full page spread on it.
It's real good.
So Griffith standing out with his sword out or whatever just looks like a psycho here. Just that blank expressionless like face, and then the close up kind of like right behind it with, I don't know, just also kind of expressionless but not at the same time. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, so it's kind of wild how they can, like, they still draw him with those fucking piercing eyes, right?
Yeah.
It's like slightly different, you know, if you compare it to like him looking at Minister Foss for the first time and like staring through his soul. Here it's almost, it's like, I mean, especially in the more distant, the full body shot where his face is a little farther away, like it's kind of like this thing, like he doesn't know exactly what to do. Like this idea of like not wanting Guts to leave, but like a large part of Griffith's problem overall is that he doesn't know how to fucking use words. Like, and we don't see like any of his things. Like clearly there is something wrong with this guy. Like I don't know what his childhood was like, but something happened, because like you can have a conversation like adults, but Griffith can't do that. So he's just like, I don't know. His eyes just feel like he's like, his mind is just turning. Like, what the fuck do I do to turn this around? Yeah. Well, I'll fucking remind him that he belongs to me because of the stupid duel from years ago.
Yeah. I thought I told you then that you belong to me. That panel is so cool, but also looks like an advertisement for like Pantene Pro V shampoo or something. It's like that style of like fabulous woman hair product or something.
Yeah.
I just got out of the shower and my hair has so much body to it.
Everybody gets like such distinct lines for their hair, and then when it comes to Griffith, it's just like, fuck it. Just do it. Some wavy sketches.
Just like fire or something. Just uncontrollable lines of hair. Yeah, it's cool. I like it quite a bit. This is my like, again, we read this a while ago, so I know what happens. This is my favorite part of like all of the Guts and Griffith stuff up until now.
I mean, it's getting through
It's
a
iconic.
little bit, I guess. But like the fucking page 200, 201 spread.
Yeah.
Holy
them on
fuck.
opposite ends of it.
Yeah, and Guts holding his sword like in front of the sun. Oh my
Yeah.
fucking god, it's so good.
Yeah, it's very, very good. God, it's so good. And like again, I think you've said it a few times. The fact that there's shadows on the ground and there doesn't have to be, just that type of
Yeah.
detail. The rock has a shadow.
Yeah, it's like this. Yeah, it's like these little things, like all of the little bumps and stuff also have little shadows.
Yeah,
And it's just very good.
the sky has
It
clouds.
adds so much. Yeah, dude, like it's all look at the fucking even going like so you have the castle and stuff and like the trees or whatever that are a little closer, but then even going back, like look at the mountains in the distance.
I know it's
Those
like a
are
Bob Ross painting.
unnecessarily they're fucking unnecessarily good mountains for being in the extreme background. Like
Yeah.
it's so good.
Everybody here is looking at at the two dudes. Like everything else is kind of ancillary, but it works. And I just noticed now too, I mean, I guess I wouldn't have noticed this because I didn't read up to that part. That tower on Griffith's side is pretty important to Griffith coming up. So that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
interesting that that's there. I don't know. There's a lot of cool shit going on here. Not least of all the two dope ass dudes about to square off in a battle of some sort.
You know what? That's I mean that's a great I didn't even think of that. That's a great foreshadowing call.
Yeah, right.
There's also probably I mean, I choose to believe that Mira isn't doing anything unnecessarily. I don't think it's coincidence that even ignoring the bit of foreshadowing, like on Griffith's side, there's a lone fucking tower on a hill above everything, and on Gut's side, it's like the town, like the people, you
Yeah.
know, like it's the where everybody lives and all that shit.
Sure, yeah.
I think that has to be intentional.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the problem of this is why I kind of hated art college, is because you can read into anything way too much and get
Yeah.
It's what's that saying again? Not seeing the forest for the trees or something like. But like,
Yeah.
I guess the opposite of like paying too much attention to that stuff, because then like, if you turn that part of your brain on, you could be like, well, on Griffith's side also, you can see that he has less space because the tree is like cutting off a lot of like the spread or whatever, so he's more confined and Guts is more free now. Like there's a lot of weird symbolism you could say, but like unfortunately we'll never know without Miro telling us.
Yeah, no, totally. And then there's like limits, right?
Totally.
Like the tower thing, like that seems obvious, like and it's I mean really it's the ability to shut that part of your brain off.
Yeah.
Being able to switch it on and being like, that could be a thing, and then just turning it off and not elaborating on it further.
I mean, that's why I like doing podcasts about things I enjoy, though, because I like flipping that switch on for the conversation. I'm just saying that, like, the first time through, you don't notice or, like, bother with any of that stuff because you're too engrossed in what's going on.
I mean, I've gone through this particular section, I think, like 3 times now. I never really noticed the tower.
Yeah.
That never clicked with me.
Dude, it's hard to notice anything besides the two dudes about to fight.
A story of my life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we'll talk about
Griffith
the
is
actual
insane.
battle in a second, but 203, I just have to say that picture of Guts is so good.
Don't get it our way. I mean, the picture of fucking Griffith on 202. He's
sure,
like
yeah.
fucking. They like. I mean, it's Guts, obviously, but like Griffith isn't fucking around with this either.
Yeah, how he's like swinging his sword up and then out as a like on guard type invitation. Like,
Yeah,
fight's about to start.
Casca is very not about this whole thing.
Yeah, she is so not cool with this, especially now
Which
that she actually really likes Guts as well.
Yeah, and Judeau is I mean, Judeau reflects a little bit on how she's changed. In particular, holy fuck, the panel on 205 of Casca and like Griffith's hands and his helmet is like in half. Oh, that I want that without text on like a full size panel,
dude,
like a full page.
There's been so many fucking things that I'm just like, I need to buy a wall scroll of this. I get it now.
Yeah, dude.
I get why weebs do this shit. Because I need the picture of Griffith holding baby Guts from an egg in his hands.
Well, no, it's Casca, right?
Is it?
Yeah, she's got a tit.
I guess so.
Yeah, because they're talking about Casca. They're talking about Casca and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, she's like coming out of an egg or whatever.
I don't
like bursting out of the shell.
Thing, but again,
I guess
yeah.
Coming out of her. I don't fucking. It's cool.
It's super fucking cool. Yeah. Yeah, and like not least of all, if one of these dudes dies here, it's kind of her fault for grabbing him. So this is all legitimately Casca's fault for going to get him. So I'm sure that's part of it too. We got so many cool pictures of them.
He goes all out. I mean, even these fucking little, like, just going through, like some of the angles, like, even just on, I mean, there's a bunch on, like, 206. But, 207, the bottom left, like, almost a throwaway panel. That angle is still fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's still, everything here is just, it's so good.
Yeah, it's so awesome. And there's so much build up. So it's kind of weird. Like, so again, first manga or whatever. I've watched a few anime, and there are definitely scenes where two characters are just kind of looking at each other. And now, like, reading the manga, I kind of understand what those situations are. This is like one of those, right, where they're looking at each other, and if we're watching in real time, nothing's happening. But here we see, like, them thinking or whatever, like, remembering little scenes or having, like, a small conversation in their head, or other people talking about stuff while they're kind of, like, looking at each other.
Well, it's funny because we have Guts having, like, his super serious introspection stuff about, like, their relationship and all of that, like, about Griffith's dream again, and everybody else is like, who's gonna fucking win?
Yeah.
Like, who's stronger now?
Yeah, their whole thing here is that, like, yeah, Griffith won easily before, but Guts has, like, honed his skills on the battlefield against literal hundreds of men.
Yeah.
And Griffith doesn't seem to have the same, like, I don't know, brutal composure that he did before. Like, obviously there's more, it's harder to fight somebody you care about than some random straggler, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, kind of totally. The idea. And the way this chapter ends with them crossing swords kind of in the panel, but, like, I don't know, they're kind of like framing each other with their swords.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good shit. It's just so fucking good.
It's cool.
Man.
And just, like, any of these, you can just look and all the fucking details are, I mean, just going in even on that panel where they're framing each other, and, like,
yeah,
there's just so many little things, like, in their outfits and all that shit.
It's so fucking crazy. Yeah, it's so good. Also, this is the type of thing that if you're buying the comic every week and this is the final page, you're pissed. At least that's how I feel. But I hate when comics do that. Like, the thing is just about to start, and then it it ends, and you have to wait another week or month or whatever, depending on the publication.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of the battle, it takes a while before it actually starts.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting closer, but moving into the next chapter of this section, we get more introspection from Guts. Like, I'm feeling calm, all that stuff. I love how he's like, it all started with a duel, now it ends with one. Fine by me. It's much more fitting than some half-hearted farewell. This says to me, I'm still worth spilling blood over in your eyes.
That's so good. Yeah.
It's
and also just like,
great.
I wish I cared about anybody to spill blood, their blood. Yeah. We get some introspection from Casca too, which is super important. Her realizing that, oh, hey, maybe it's not that I want Guts to stay because it's kind of the way things have been and he's good for our team, but maybe I want him to stay.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That panel, that page is so cute.
It's really good, dude.
Yeah.
The fucking
so
like
good.
fuzzy stuff kind of going into the background. But I love how he does this so much, but like his use of like the dots.
Yeah.
Like here, even around her hat, like there's no hard lines. I don't even think there's any lines. It's all just like dots, like concentrated to make the lining. It's really good.
It's so good. In fact, I'm gonna quickly copy that because that'll probably be the picture I use for the episode. It's
Nice.
such a good one. There's so many good ones to choose from. Like, arguably, it should be the one of them like clashing swords, but I don't know. I guess I'll make that decision later.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There's just like, and it feels like the art it just constantly keeps going up. I mean, like throughout these chapters, like even just in this section, like Griffith just getting crazier. Like on 216, the bottom where he's like, I won't have it, I won't let you, like leave my grasp or whatever. He's fucking like, that's some, I don't know. It's like Azula in Airbender, like crazy.
Also, it's interesting
like
because
whipping.
It's very rare we get any Griffith introspection panels, and we get a decent amount of it here. Because usually, like every time we've seen him, he's been a closed book, right? Like really hard to read, which is kind of the point of us figuring out what he's about, who he is, and the intrigue behind him. But here, they take that away a little bit, and we get to see that, like, I don't know, he's having a real problem with this. His world is shattering, and his brain is breaking. He
starts out, I'll loop back. He starts off with like the actual introspection about like Guts leaving, and then goes into like battle tactics. And he's worried, like he doesn't want to fucking kill Guts, but then he does have that moment of like, if I can't have him, like maybe killing him is better because he's insane. But it also fucking, it's like heartbreaking where Griffith is like, do you want to go? Is this how badly you want to leave my grasp? Because like they don't fucking talk. So Griffith thinks he just like Guts is feeling trapped and wants to fucking leave. Meanwhile, Guts wants to be Griffith's equal. Like, it's a completely different thing, and they don't fucking talk.
I also like that, like that. It's kind of like trickles of emotionality of the like, I won't let you or whatever, or like, how badly do you want to leave, mixed in with like the tactical part of his brain being like you're not as brazen as you usually are. Like, you're firm in your resolve here. Could I even parry his attack anymore? I don't think I can like even take him anymore. So I'm gonna have to kill him in one strike, otherwise I'm fucked. I really like that. There's like emotional stuff going in there, but also the tactician part of like, okay, literally it says, I'm not sure I can parry his attack anymore. If I can, my sword still won't last past 2 or 3 strikes, and all this snow might even hinder my movements. Victory must come in the first strike. It's such a like sociopathic thing of like, there's some emotional stuff there, but in the end, it's kind of like he's kind of devoid of it, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's just like emotionally fucked.
Yeah, he just turns it off. Like,
yeah.
This is a battle he needs to win for his sword to stay with him. And then this whole part kind of threw me off at first because I thought, oh, the fight had started, but this is all in his brain, his tactical brain of him, like, this is how I need to take him out. And it's him, like, slicing through Guts' head.
Yeah, well, his plan is to deflect it and slice into his shoulder. But then he's like, if my timing's off, if the arc is off, I'll fucking slice his head in half.
And that,
which they show.
Most importantly, though, after that, it's like, I might actually kill him, but maybe that's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
Griffith is
if
fucked.
I can't have him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, he's a child at the end. Like, emotionally, he's a child. Like, that idea of, like, he wants this thing so badly, but he doesn't have the emotional maturity to reflect on the intricacies of that. And he's just like, I want this thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, if something's going to take this thing from me, fuck it. I'll just break that thing.
Yeah, totally.
And it's just like, yeah.
And then
It's
this
tragic.
is totally. And then we get the moment of like, this is a video playing that I'm reading in real time where everybody's quiet and like looking at each other. We got a cool shot of Casca and Guts like taking a breath out in the cold. Snow falls from a tree, and as it hits the ground, Griffith just goes in for the attack, gets deflected, and then the next thing we see, really, like if we were the audience, is that when the snow and dust settles, the sword is like on Griffith's head as like a I win,
yeah,
bitch.
his neck, shoulder, yeah. Fucking the side panel on 224, the top down, where it's the fucking snow billowing off of the, I don't know, like Guts' strike.
Yeah.
Oh, love that shit.
It's so good. And also the like whole, he was right, where the attack wasn't able to be deflected and his sword is cut in half. So on the big spread on 222, you just see it flying off into the air towards like the camera, I'll call it, while the action's happening below. And his sword is just like a little, just like broken. It's like half the size. Even in the panel you're talking about, you can see it like flying off in the bottom right.
Yeah, it's real good. That spinny shit again.
Yeah, that spinny shit is so good. But yeah, Guts wins the battle. Everybody, like especially Griffith, looks stunned, and he just says, "Take care," and walks off, and it's the dopest shit.
Yeah, just the I mean, like 227, especially where Casca's like thinking, and then eventually on the next page like yells Guts, and we get that brief moment where he like stops and his shoulders go up, like his head, like he almost loses his resolve or whatever.
Yeah,
you can almost imagine. Do you remember that really early panel we had where like that Teresa or whoever is like saying she's gonna kill Guts, and he's like, yeah, fine, whatever, and then he turns and we see his face just like broken.
Yeah.
You almost can see like something like that, like he's walking, he has his composure, but on the other side, like he's really torn up. Maybe
it's so fucking sad. This part is so, it's crazy hard to read, actually. Not in the way of like rape and guts and blood, like everything else is just emotionally damaging.
Casca in the sky though,
with diamonds. Actually, no diamonds. Yeah.
That outline. Oh.
Yeah. It's so good, and the footprints that like going off in the distance.
And then we get the last I mean, Guts is thinking about the chapter ends with Guts thinking about Griffith, like it's fine. It's like it's stumbling on a rock on the roadside. It's a small thing. The place you want to go is more distant, so it's all right. You'll stand up and you'll start walking.
This is the type of shit that, like, I'm in a good place currently. This is the type of stuff that would get me through shit, though. Like, this is super inspirational in a way that this should just be on, like, motivational posters or something.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's like stumbling on a rock on the roadside. It's petty, a small thing. The place you want to go is more distant, further off. So it's all right. You'll stand up and you'll start walking soon. That's just so powerful.
It's really good, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's real good shit. And that's where we're done volume 8. That's where volume 8 ends. However, this episode is not completely over because we fit in a couple more things in here. Just there's so much to go through that we kind of need to keep going where we can. Also,
Yeah.
we need to see what happened. Like what happened after the fight and after Guts left.
I think the way the next chapter is supposed to be translated is Skull Knight or Skeleton Knight, but mine here it's Knight of Skeleton, but like Knight with a K.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a wonky phrasing.
Yeah, mine too. I
Well, the
think we're
fucking
reading from the same thing. So
Yeah. That title card is fucking cool though. The skeleton head with the single eye and like the Beharit is in the cracked skull showing through, and there's a crown of thorns with a rose on it. That's fucking. Ugh.
I'm not afraid to admit that I would wear this T-shirt.
I mean, dude, so many people get such shitty tattoos, and I don't understand how they like. How is nobody getting this? Everybody just gets the brand, except like 8 times bigger than it should be on the side of their neck.
I actually just looked up Berserk tattoo, and you're totally right. Like 100 images of the same brand.
It's all just the fucking brand, dude.
Yeah. Or Guts in it, like his full armor is another one I see.
Yeah. The full armor, or just like people get the sword, just Dragon Slayer, like on their forearm or whatever.
I think that's kind of dumb, but yeah.
It looks a little wonky. Just
anyways,
on its own.
This is what you should be getting.
It's a fucking cool tattoo.
It's
because it works. Good. Like if you get the brand, it's just a symbol, right? Nobody fucking knows unless they know. This is just cool. This is fucking classic tattoo shit. Skulls and roses.
I'm not gonna pretend like having the brand isn't kind of cool. It's just kind of obvious.
Yeah.
I think anyway.
I love moving into the, I guess no, I suppose it would work. I like how we get the single eye in the skull, and then on the first page we get the moon through the clouds.
Oh,
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah,
we get kind of like an establishing shot here showing the wilderness. I guess like just to show that we're far away-ish from everything we were before, and we see Guts alone by a campfire, getting startled by something which seems uncharacteristic. But
yeah, well, and he's
even
like,
says, yeah,
it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been on my own.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's cool, but so this has been 3 years, is that correct? It's been no, not 3 years, but like I think it's been a few months at least. This is definitely not right away after.
But yeah, it's been a while.
It's been some time.
I forget if they tell us.
They might honestly. When we go back to the other group, actually, now that I think about it. So maybe we'll get there. Yeah. Yeah. We got some introspection of him sitting by the campfire, being alone, saying like, am I just doing what I always do and throwing away something like real and true for something that I might never have or never get or whatever. This is, again, super like, you quit your job and try for that thing. Like, it's so relatable. A lot of these themes we're getting to the point now where we're going to be talking a lot about themes that are super relatable and real. And I'm excited for that sort of thing because, yeah, we're getting some real character shit now, some real talk, if you will. And then we get a bunch of weird, dumb, rapey demons, but we'll get through that when it comes.
Fucking rough.
When it comes, we'll get through it. But yeah.
But here,
yeah,
we meet fucking Skull Knight.
We do. We get some weird, random thing coming out of the woods. I love this build up too of this like crazy, weird, imposing figure in the shadows with just these glowy eyes.
Yeah.
And he just page 14 for people.
Yeah. And he's just like, and a little bit before that, like during this, he's sensing something, and it's like an overwhelming feeling, just like he had like facing Zod, like facing a fucking demon, like just pure fucking terror, which for Guts is like insane.
Yeah,
it's no good. He swings his sword. There's nothing there, but then we get this fucking skull just coming out of the darkness, and then fucking boom, Skull Knight.
Yeah,
on a horse.
So I have been told, not directly, but accidentally by things, Skull Knight doesn't appear in the anime, huh?
Correct.
Bummer, because I really wanted to see this shit animated. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, it's one of the things, because like they had a definitive endpoint.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything they removed was to like make it so that it's just the end and not like, oh, well, what about this thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that thing doesn't exist here. So get fucked.
That's such a bummer, but I get it, I guess.
Skull Knight calls Guts a struggler.
I love when demons talk and they have the different font or text or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah, I like how he's just like, struggler?
You, struggler. Take heed. Guts is like, struggler? What the fuck?
I also... So, now we're into my shit. This is what I'm talking about. Just an ominous, like, eldritch being fucking coming out of the woods and saying, 1 year hence shall be the time of the eclipse. It's just like, yeah, now you're speaking Paul language.
You and your friends, those yet unseen of the fleshless flesh, and that unkingly half of yours shall all be gathered then in that place. A torrent of madness, a tempest of death for which the human body could never atone, shall sweep over you. Fucking,
oh, God.
We're there.
I am so happy. Like, when I saw this, I wanted to cheer, but I was in bed reading it.
And his fucking, like, you were born from a corpse and began your life from death in the mud. You're closer to death than anyone. Thus, you excel in escaping it.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah. Man. Everything he says is so good. Struggle, contend, wriggle.
Wriggle, yeah. Like, just in the mud. Just fucking...
Yeah. Fuck. This whole thing is so good. And then I think the most important part of all of this is that he just disappears. And that's where this is.
Yeah, and the only, like, Guts is like, is that an illusion? And the only thing we have is that hoof print in the snow.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
I think, for me, this gets ruined if there's some big, drawn-out speech or like exposition dump or something that happens here. So I'm glad that it's just like this weird warning, this cryptic warning from this weird skeleton dude. And then he's just gone into the mist. God,
yeah, man.
It's so fucking good. Oh my God.
I was thinking about it today, and we'll like, I mean, I plan on elaborating on it a bit later and talking more about some other stuff. Nothing that you haven't read, but just, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But like, one of the things I like about this manga is that overall, we really don't get a shitload of exposition dumps.
No, it's very slow.
When we learn stuff, it feels natural, and it's never like so fucking long that it takes you out of whatever the hell is going on.
Yeah.
It's real nice.
Totally. Yeah. After that, we get a cut back into civilization, into a city. Another good setup shot or whatever. We get a shot of a window and a princess that we know looking out of it, looking sad. Yeah, this is the arc that I will call Griffith is so thirsty.
He's so there's I don't know, there's like such a weird difference because like it feels like it's been longer, right? Looking at Guts, like,
well, there's no snow anymore in there's
no
right?
there's no snow, and like maybe it's like the end of winterish. I mean, it's raining, but the trees are still bare or whatever. I guess maybe I'm fucking misremembering, or I just like missed the details that would suggest a time skip, but like in the anime they expedite this.
Yeah, this
like
has been half a year. I just read ahead.
Griffith went like from the hill to the window. Like he goes right there because they're just, I guess because Skull Knight's not there, so they're popping. Yeah, they gotta bump along. But
also,
it certainly is a different tone.
Yeah. Also, I think it kind of reads like he went from that fight here because he's looking mopey and depressed and shit. But we get a thing about how half a year ago, since we parted that morning, you went to war, and all that stuff that we were talking about before was like not long after that. So it's been somewhere between half a year or probably like a few months.
I was gonna say probably because like they got back, and then I think after, because they a few months after finishing the fight, I think they were just kind of chilling. So it's probably been like
they were chilling at Doldry, not at the castle. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Because like all that stuff was happening at Doldry, I think, is the idea. Because she was wherever they are. I guess Tudor. She's Tudor, right?
No, they're Midland.
Oh, she's
I think Doldry was the fortress. Trudar, I think, is like the land or whatever.
The land,
continent, people, whatever.
Sure.
I don't know. It's been more than a day. It hasn't just been like 3 hours or whatever.
Yeah, it's been a while. And we get this weird thing of like Charlotte saying, "You scared me," blah blah blah. And Griffith's just kind of listening while she's like crying, and I read this as like kind of yelling at him about like, "Where have you been?" sort of thing, and he's just soaking wet. And he just looks down at her, grabs her, and kisses her, and that's how the chapter ends. But don't worry, thirsty ones, because we get right back into it with the start of the Everlasting Night, the next chapter, just a giant picture of him lifting her up in her nightgown while kissing her. And her not looking stoked about it necessarily from the get-go.
Yeah, it's like...
surprised. She's surprised.
Yeah. I mean, she's moving much faster than she wanted, clearly, but she's not unreceptive.
Yeah. So I think you know what I'm going to talk about. It's extremely weird to see just like a drawing of him groping her for one panel.
Yep.
The
She
bottom
knows what the
of,
ladies like.
page 29.
Yep. Yep.
It just feels like such a Japanese anime thing to put in. Like I get it. We don't need to see that panel. Like
Nope, necessary.
I assumed it's probably happening.
Now you fucking know that Griffith leads with a little titty action.
I mean, who doesn't, right? This whole part is I think we talked in a previous episode about parts reading at work that like I hid.
No.
That I hid the tablet a little bit more than usual. This whole part is definitely one of those. Pretty embarrassing to read at work, just in case. Anyways, yeah, I'm not gonna belabor it. They have sex, and we get it cuts to the rest of them in the bar.
Is it still I think it's still the same day. Because Ricard is like, I haven't seen Griffith since what happened today.
Oh, maybe.
So I think it is the same day in like...
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he just
I
didn't
guess
go
it's just been that...
her for 6 months.
Yeah, just that long since the battle or whatever.
Yeah.
That she last saw him. I guess, and it's like Guts just chilling.
Sure.
the first night.
I guess we did see the sun out in full blaze in the fight, so I guess maybe it melted the snow.
It was like it's like late winter and snow's gone by evening or something.
Yeah. We get a cut to Casca asking where's Griffith to the other guys, and they say, well, we haven't seen him. And she goes to Guts' old quarters, picks up his slab that was broken, and just kind of like lovingly holds it while looking at the armor or whatever. And it's
pretty good.
It's pretty good. And then we get assaulted with boobs in the next page.
Just fucking boobs. He's really licking that nipple.
And
he's still fucking thinking of Guts.
Yeah.
Like, he's in the middle of railing this chick, and all he could think about is fucking Guts saying take care and leaving.
Yeah.
And like... clearly is not here because he is really into Charlotte. He's here because
he's really into Guts.
He needs that rebound.
Yeah. Okay, this is just gonna be awkward to talk about, but it is what it is. We get some good vein popping action in his like neck and shoulders or whatever in the one panel in page 34. And I like how the way this is drawn, it's obvious he's going harder remembering Guts. Like, obviously because of like emotional scarring of some sort and like anger between what happened and all that stuff. But I want to read it as he's about to come thinking about Guts.
I mean, dude, like... not joking, like that's an interpretation you can fucking have, honestly. Like this is the sort of thing that,
and I
like,
choose
anybody who says like, no man, there's no homosexual undertones, like, I'm sorry, that's great you have that opinion, but like you continue to be wrong. Like
totally.
Griffith is very into Guts.
Totally. I mean, who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
Again, it's just going to be awkward. The bottom of page 35 to show the movement in which her titties are flopping around.
Yep. The fucking elongated, like, nipple streaks. Motion blur.
Yeah.
Griffith really... he's jackhammering at this point, man.
And then I, like, unironically really like page 36. I think that's just kind of like a super sexy drawing.
it's a really good like a good interpretation of it, right? Like
Yeah.
it's almost hard to like at a glance like figure out like what part goes with what person and what you're
Yeah.
like. It's just two people tangled. It's actually really good.
Yeah, it is. It is also still a thing I don't want anybody at work seeing that I'm looking at.
No.
But if they did at a glance, they might not be able to understand what it is. So that's cool.
And then we have this fucking, I mean, we see Casca like watching the rain, cuts to her for a sec, and then
Yeah.
this stupid fucking handmaid walking by hears some noises from Charlotte's room and looks through the keyhole.
Yep.
What does she see?
Yeah. What she sees is a cool ass technique that reminds me of. Have you ever seen? God, what the fuck are they called? They're metal etchings, essentially. They have a very similar type of look as the bottom of page 38, where everything's kind of like grayscale or whatever, but the etching would be the white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
just
I
a
know
really
what you're
cool style.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that's a really cool looking page. Again, I'm a sucker
it's
for
great.
negative space on dark.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love it.
God, look at Griffith's fucking
I
arm.
know. It's insane.
That guy
it's
is,
also
like-
super unrealistic, but it's insane.
No, dude, he just has fucking triceps for days.
Yeah, that are braided within each other. That muscles don't braid against each other like that.
No, he just has that fucking. That's how my arm looks.
Nope. There's like one extra muscle in there that shouldn't be there, so it looks odd.
Look.
No,
you
it's
don't-
fine.
Are you fucking body shaming him? He
Yes.
can't help that he was born with an extra muscle.
Yes, I am body shaming him. He's too sexy, and I'm sick of it. He can't keep getting
he's-
away with it.
And he's clear, like, we see that he's fucking, like, this has done nothing to help him.
Yeah,
Like, it skips past that, and he's, like, almost clawing at his shoulder again. Like,
we get that moment again of when he was talking about the kids and the pederast or whatever, the Casca thing.
yeah, and, like, he's crying, or he's teary-eyed, I should say, and, like, just holding himself. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, it's hard to look at. It's pretty, it's just sad and scary. Charlotte wakes up in the morning. Griffith is gone, but he's left the thing, I guess. The
little
night
token
magnet.
Yeah, the lodestone. That's what it is.
Yes, the
That she had
lodestone.
given him with a little flower by it.
Yeah. Then she realizes that she's in pain, looks down, and her hymen has been broken, is the implication there, meaning she's no longer a virgin.
Yeah, there's a bit of blood.
Yep.
And then Griffith has, like, just left.
Yes.
So
He
he's
jumps over
hopping
the
down,
fence.
and then there is a fuckload of soldiers.
Yep. I thought this was a cool scene, too.
Yeah.
It just looks cool. Them all pointing their spears at him, and him kind of like do the anime half face, like obscured by hair sort of bullshit.
Yeah. I think he because we get that bit where he, like, reaches for his sword and it's not there because it's broken or whatever.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have it on him. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, you can take it however. To me, it seems like maybe if he had his sword, he would just, like, part of him is ready to just, like, start fighting and just inevitably die.
Yeah, let the cards fall how they may from it.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
he just doesn't care. And even in the, like, I mean, as soon as they have, like, the spears all around his fucking neck and stuff, and he's just, like, apathetic.
I love that we see them like shove their spears to kind of trap him with them around his neck and stuff. And then on page 45, we kind of see just like the very basic like shadows of where the spears are confining him. It's super
just
cool.
the black lines.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Cool style. So much style. So good.
Then we get the king bursting into Charlotte's room.
Oh, this is where everything starts going bad for like this whole series. This is kind of the start of the downfall of any class that was left.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Like he just rips off the sheets, he sees the blood, and
he is furious.
He's just like, Charlotte.
Yeah.
And the chapter ends.
And that's where we stop. It ends with a scene of Charlotte on the white bed with a stain of blood, him looking surprised, exclaiming her name, and spears around Griffith's head.
Yeah.
Man.
So
this is going to get, like, I guess just fair warning. This starts getting dark again, like, next episode. And doesn't stop, I think, until we're done this arc, by the sounds of it.
Yeah. And it's such a fucking... It's a hard transition. Because we go from, like, normal... Like, on one half, we have normal, like, medieval battles and, like, just people dying through sword fights and shit. And then on the other half, we have, like, this fucking insane, like... demon shit that's just a steady stream of over the top like cool demon shit and ridiculous and awesome. The transitional period is fucking brutal because it's still like real people and realistic and like bad things happening. It's rough.
Yeah, it's really
so
rough.
This is the start of that.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty easy to just say, if at this point the things that bother you are like blood and violence and stuff, you're probably checked out already. So that's fine. Sexual abuse triggers abound coming up in the next while.
I don't think next episode.
Well,
let me take a peek.
Okay, there's definitely incestual things and
you know what? Yeah,
bad ideals, but there is no actual acts of any terrible indecency. So it is a little bit better than I was saying.
Yeah, it gets gross, but not like visual. Well, it's still a bit visually, just because it's gross. Because Mira likes drawing all those lines.
Sometimes it's too many lines. Usually it's the right amount of lines. Sometimes it's too many.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm excited to talk about it because there's a lot more to go, and there's we're getting there though. We're getting to real fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I think this is not my favorite section of stuff in general because not much really happened. This is setup for, if this like arc was split up into acts, and it kind of is, this is a setup for the next act. The transitional space. Yeah. That's all I have to say for right now.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Covered everything.
All right, so next time we'll be talking about actually everything in volume 9. So if you're following along, you just need to be on volume 9 for the next one, because all the chapters are in this one for the next episode. So yeah, stay tuned.
We gotta, they're all just like individual. We don't have any like 5 chapter sections or whatever, like Doldry, for example.
Exactly. Yeah. Cool. All right.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.
See you next time.